some time ago, I planted some apple seeds, and look what I got. But then I put them on the bench and promptly forgot about them. So I didn't do anything to them last year. Maybe I pruned them back in desperation, kind of like what I'm doing right now. But let's see if there's any structure to be had here. All right, I'm looking at it through the camera lens, so if I look at it this way, I could have a nice branch happening here with a lot of taper, and one here, and a main leader. If I look at it this way, I don't want this branch at all. But I think this is just unusual enough the way it is to be a front. And this back branch is a casualty. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take that back branch off. Now, I know none of you do this kind of thing where you plant something and forget about it. I know none of you do that. And if I were to believe my own myth, oh, I got a mess there. Maybe this isn't as viscous as I thought it was. So I don't know what kind of apples they were. I remember saving seeds that from a particularly delicious or good apple. I don't mean a delicious apple. Okay, I'm going to take that lower leaf off and this lower leaf off. And I want to zoom up on this, so let me make a height choice on both of these. Well, I don't have to do this one yet. I want this to branch out here. So my best opportunity for two branches is right here. Okay, now I can zoom up on this whole thing. And the sun is particularly bright right now, so forgive me for the shadows. All right. What's good? All right, this little leaf in here is not good. That helped a lot of things. I like this one going down in that direction. So I'm going to leave that. And do I have that same option here? Or do I even want that here? I think, I mean, I really should go here. I do see a dormant bud there, or a leaf scar there. That's ideal. I'm going to hope that that happens. Is that making me rethink this? I think I can clean up this stub here a little bit better. But that's it. I'm going to leave this one alone. Just going to put a little rubber cement on those tips. Ah, this is good. This is good. Monkey grip it is. All right, let's look at this guy. All right, first things first, I got a pruning stub right in the middle. Might be able to get it on a couple of bites. There we go. Remove these leaves down low. This tree has a lot to be desired in terms of a root base. But you never know. I could get a branch here and a branch there if I cut it here. I think I'm going to do that. And similarly there. So there, I've just trimmed my 2 apple trees that have been yelling at me to trim. And we'll see what happens. These are my only 2 apples. I pulled these out of a juniper of mine. I think a Chinese juniper. It was just growing there. I thought it was a little triplet of birch trees, but I'm not sure. The leaves look like a little like birch to me, but I'm not 100% sure. So I put them in a triagami pot, and look at what's happening back down here. Now, I don't leave them in these pots for too long, and I shave off this. It's in a tray of water. That's why it sent down roots. It's exactly what I wanted it to do. But I want this little trio of trees, this little clump, to start looking like something. So in order for it to start looking like something, it's going to have to start branching out. So that's coming off. This one's going to be the shortest. And I think I'm going to come down to here. Let's see if this sprouts wings. I would love to see some branching. You know what? I think I'm gonna go down further here. Yeah. I gotta get that to be a little more separate. How do I do that? I think I have plenty of time to get that going. All right, this goes back on the bench, and I'll get my next. Well, I've got 2 Chinese elms. Both of them were cuttings off of Central Park. Little guys in little pots, but they've grown crazy. Next up are a pair of Chinese elm. These are cuttings off of my Central Park planting. I took a top off a tree, and I couldn't bear to see it go in the garbage, so it went into this little pot, or went into something, and I put it in this little pot. That's got to come out because it's off to one side. I don't like that. I'm not going to do that now. And then I got this guy. Also was the top off of one of those trees. It rooted nicely, but it's ugly as heck right now, so let's see what we can do with it. I've got an old pruning stub there, which means that's where I pruned this last. So I'm not going to go much further than above that. I'm just going 2 above that. This came out since I last pruned. I'm removing some leaves that keep this from being defined as its own entity here. And I may not keep this branch, but it's in a decent spot for a very, very tiny tree. There's a little branch down below that I'm taking off. And I'm going to prune this one back to a leaf facing in that direction. This is going to come off altogether. And as I mentioned, this is kind of a forensic exercise also. I want to see where I pruned it last and see what happened after that. I pruned it here. and I got a branch right there. This only needs to come back to here. This one happened since I pruned it, and I'm going to take the leaves off that are kind of making it look like an immature growth rather than a branch. And it is an immature growth rather than a branch. But bonsai is all about illusion and perception. Okay, that's that. This one, was it around last time? It was. I pruned it back to there. I may have pruned this year. I might have done it off camera. This one's back too far. But I like the placement of these branches. These are not perfectly aligned. I'm going to go back to here on this one. This one was pruned here, and it sent out a branch in this direction, also linearly rather than bifurcating. So I'm cutting it back to there. This one was pruned here. This one happened after I pruned that back. So I think I'm going to go back to here on this and to here on this. As I got this little guy pruned up, I'm just going to take off these leaves that are making this look like a very immature little tree. What do you think? This one little mame. Am I changing my mind here? I am. I like that it would grow in that direction, but I think I want it shorter. And that's one little tree. Put this aside and go to my next little tree. I think in this instance I'll tackle the height first. There's a pruning stub, and there's no pruning stub here. So this is coming back to that set of leaves, and this one to here. Pruning stub there. This branch, I pruned it back to here last time. So I'll take that to there. Actually, I'm going to go back one more. And I'm going to be clearing out a lot of these leaves here. Here's a branch I don't need. Here's a branch I don't need. And here's a branch I don't need. And another branch I don't need. I pruned it here before, so I'm taking it back to here. This one, I pruned it there before, and I'm taking it back to there. Do I want or need this? I don't think I want or need that. that comes off. All right. This one. It bifurcates, but way up here. You even see that? Yeah. I don't want it that tall. I want to knock this back to here. I don't need this little branch here. I don't need this leaf, or this leaf, or even that leaf. I'm going to reevaluate and take it off there. Okay. This was pruned here. Then here. I'm going to take it back to there. There's a nice little branch there. It might be something I take off at a later date. I'm going to leave it on for now. I might have just killed it by pulling some bark off it, but I hope not. And take that to there. Take this to here. And I'm just going to take the tip off of this one. And there, I have another little Chinese elm started. It might look good someday. What do I want to do with that? Take it off. I want to take it off. You seeing this? There we go. Nice. All right. So I pruned up, and I put them all back on the bench. I can't even remember what I pruned up now. But these were the last two. So thank you for keeping me company in my backyard. This is fun.